It may have been a range-bound day of trade for the Nifty, but we are still registering the 5th consecutive day of trade where we have seen declines. Hello and welcome. Nikki and I are here to give you a wrap of all the market action today. Nikki, an uneventful day, at least as far as the benchmark indices are concerned.
Yeah, a dull day of trade today, flat close for the markets that we saw. However, by the end of the day, Nifty did manage to close above that 9,100 mark. Yes, it was the 5th session of losses that we're looking for the market. However, the magnitude of losses that we're looking at are not that big enough for that matter. We saw losses around in the range of around 1.25%. Just looking at the chart, it was a flat session of trades that we can see. Market pretty much swinging in between the green and the red. We saw by the close of the trade that Nifty bounced back and managed to recover and managed to close the day by about that 9,100 mark, which is a crucial mark for that matter. It was a dull session of trade that we're looking at. However, it was an eventful day when it comes to banking space. Did we see some shorts building up in bank Nifty futures?
Certainly, as you pointed out, while it has been range-bound day of trade for the Nifty, the bank and Nifty futures did see shorts. This was on account of a weakness in several banking counters like Yes Bank, IndusInd Bank, and Kotak Mahindra Bank for that matter. But as far as the options market is concerned, we're looking at some very interesting trends here. Firstly, as far as the range is concerned, based on maximum open interest, we're only looking at 100 points. Based on max OI, which we have at 9,100 put and the 9,200 call. With respect to the most active options today, we have seen unwinding in the 9,200 put and a lot of increase towards the 9,400 call on the upside. It also gives you an idea as to where the resistances lie. Nifty. But Nikki, before I move on to the stock specific counters, can you just take us through some of the key gainers, that is the losers and the gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned?
Yeah, so power stocks are pretty much where the action lied today. We saw power stocks pretty much ending up with gains in the range of around 4.5 to 1.5 to around 5% each. We saw Power Grid Corporation of India leading the gainers and ending with gains of around 4.5%. Next in the list we have Tata Power, Adani Ports, NTPC. They all were up in the trade in the range of around 1.5 to 4.5%, as I mentioned earlier. Also, ACC was another top gainer. It ended in green ahead of its earnings, which comes in on Friday for that matter. On the flip side, on negative side, we are seeing losses coming in from Aurobindo Pharma and other pack of banking stocks. This is after the weak earnings we've seen from IndusInd Bank. Actually, to put it rightly, it was a miss from the bottom line front that we saw for IndusInd Bank. However, top line front, pretty much it met the estimates. The bank number met the estimates. Stable asset quality that we're looking at. Also, provisioning which grew mainly on account of 122 crore being provided towards the large account which hit the bottom line of IndusInd Bank. That's where the miss came in from, and that's where we saw the disappointment which was spread across all the banking stocks for that matter. Again, moving on to the chart, what we can see here, we saw all these banking pack here, ICICI Bank, State Bank of India and IndusInd Bank all ending the day back in red. So that was that in terms of large cap stocks. Agam, how was the space? How was the moment in mid cap space?
Before I move on to mid caps, you also seen substantial weakness in Aurobindo Pharma, and there is a reason behind that as well.
So US FDA has pretty much issued an 483 form for its manufacturing plant in Hyderabad, where it's observed some around 6 big observations were noticed in that plant, which led to Aurobindo Pharma actually sliding to a 5-month low. That was near the November level that the stock is now trading at. So that's that in terms of Aurobindo Pharma losses.
Okay, so on the whole, when it comes to the broader markets, we're looking at a positive market breadth. We have 3 gainers for 2 losers. Starting off with the gainers, and the momentum here is quite substantial. Hathway Cables has gained 20%, it's locked in an upper circuit. Vinati Organics has gained in the last hour of trade, looking at a surge of 9%, followed by Inox Wind also gaining 8.7%. India Cements, Jain Irrigation, Quality, as well as HCC all gaining well over 6% in today's day of trade. With respect to losses, we had National Aluminium on account of the OFS, which has now declined by as much as 7.5%. Oracle Financial Tamil Nadu Newsprint, Cholamandalam, as well as TV18 broadcast, and we had earnings from TV18 broadcast which was below market expectations, which also declined by as much as 3% in today's day of trade. But on the whole, as you can see, at least with respect to the broader markets, we are looking at momentum towards the gainers, but of course there will be plenty of other earnings that we'll be keeping an eye on, which will have a bearing on the market direction. But this is all that we have for today. Stay tuned to the Bloomberg Quint, and we will get back to you when we see you tomorrow.